Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So I do want to address one thing. This shirt I'm wearing, it looks like I've worn the same shirt 3 days in a row. See, I actually have two of these shirts. So yesterday and the day before, I wore different ones. And then the laundry was done yesterday. And when I'm running out of the house in the morning, I just grab the first thing because all my clothes are Rhino, right? So I just grab the first shirt and run out. And upon looking at myself, I'm like, this is 3 days in a row that I'm wearing the same shirt. So I do want you to know I am fully showered. I do wear new clothes every day. Um, Rhino just, I'm okay with it. So I just want to say that. Mr. Rhino. Hi, Frida. Oh, excuse me. All right, so let's get into it. First, let's start with Rhino Bucks. Um, Stop me when you've heard this before. New all-time high in liquidity. Actually, what's pretty cool is so yesterday there was three sales in a row, and I never. So in my house, I have a bunch of computers, right? And the big computer is right on the kitchen table. And no matter what I'm doing during the day, I find a way to pass it, right? And by house I mean apartment, so I always see it. Um, so when I see somebody sell, I'm like, oh, who was that, right? And for the most part, I know who it is because there's the same person that does 50 a day and blah blah blah. So I saw the 50 and I was like, okay. Then I saw 20 and I was like, who's selling 20? And then I saw 50 again and I was like, three in a row. I haven't seen three sales in a row in a very long time. Yeah, Chinese takeout today. And Brian, oh my God, please do not SHOOT me. I am going to read it today. I'm really just awful. I'm the worst. You know what it is? I go through my emails every day, and when I finally catch up, I'm like, great. And Brian sent me something that was really comprehensive. He spent a lot of time on it. So I was like, okay, I'll get to this when I have the time to, give it the respect it deserves. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is then it gets, it's the day before, I don't pass it again unless I remember it. So I will get to it, I promise. But stop me when you've heard that before, right? Um, okay, so Rhino, but so the three people, right? So the person that sells 50 every day has like 300 left. And I like actually felt giddy. I was like, ha 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 ha. Like, what's that equal? 6 more days of you having the chance to sell, and then, see you later. So I'm okay with that. The person that sold 20, that was their last 20. I remember them. They had like 1,000 something. They've been selling, and now they have none left. And the other one, he rarely sells. He's just a good guy. So whatever. But my point is, the only reason I share this stuff is because, well, it is my everyday life. Like I literally pass the computer nonstop all day to see what's going on, and I take such an interest in it. But when I have a positive view, like, oh my God, that person only has 300 left. Like for as long as we've been together, we all every day, okay, who's the person selling 50? In 6 days, that's done. Like forever. And that's pretty cool. And the person selling 20 is gone forever too. So that's good. All right. Um, but yeah, so we're at an all-time high. I think we crossed over 116,000, which is pretty cool. And like I always say, all time is a long time. So that's going well. RhinoBot, I will be on a meeting today at 12 o'clock watching it work. It will be tested if it is, and that is, everything is leading up to that. So it will be tested. Rhino events for the search is, from best I know, just going the way it's supposed to. That will be launching in 5 days, right? 30 days had September, April, June, and okay, yeah. So May has 31 days. So that will be good. What else do we have? Oh, Twitter, amazing. So I want to show it to you. So I spent a lot of time yesterday coding. Okay, let me try to get this out. So we had to spend some time to identify particular accounts that offer kind of like valuable news sources. Because here's the thing, when you go ahead and code it to be automatic, you don't want to go ahead and regurgitate certain tweets by people where, they might be sharing good news over here, but then like once a day they type like that their mother has, I don't know, blonde hair. And now we're taking that tweet and typing it out, which if Rhino is putting out tweets that are like, hey, this is valuable, this is valuable, this is valuable, then it's like, oh yeah, my mother has blonde hair. It's like, where did that come from? Like, why would you do that? So we had to really source who we're going to follow. On top of that, then we had to go ahead and code into it the ability for the AI to recognize the difference between if somebody writes something personal to them, like, "Hey, can't wait to go have lunch with my mother later." Well, we can't go ahead and repeat that. We're not having lunch with our mother. Hey, Deborah. So it was a lot of work. We were able to find 10 that we felt comfortable with, and they have been automatic and they've been going beautifully. But in true Rhino fashion, where you do something and then something else happens, Zapier has a couple of plans. Zapier has a plan for a free plan that I think gives you like 100 zaps, a starter plan that I think gives you like 1,000 zaps, a professional plan that gives you 2,000 zaps, which is the one we're on, and then they jump always up to 50,000 zaps in a month. As you could imagine, the price jumps really significantly as well. Well, we've crossed over our 2,000 zaps, so we don't have another zap that's going to be automated for 2 weeks, which is, I'm not pleased with that. So I want to go ahead and upgrade our account. I don't want to upgrade our account to 50,000, which I probably still will. I just got to go ahead and get the funds to do it, which I should have by the end of today, if not by tomorrow, because that's the way Rhino works. The recurrings come in, and we're going to put it to that. And so here's the cool part about that, right? If we're paying for 50,000 zaps a day, a month, guess what? We're going to use 50,000 zaps, which means I'm probably going to spend 2 or 3 days finding like 100 different accounts that we're going to follow and doing 100 different things, and which will ultimately be good, right? Because then that means we have that much more going on. But I did email Zapier and I said, hey, listen, you go from 2 to 50. We would like a plan for 10. Can you go ahead and quote us? And we'll get that wrapped up today. So regardless, I would say within 24 hours, our automated zaps will be going again. So let me show you what it looks like. All right, so where are we? Let's go ahead and hide this floating menu. Let's hide this. Okay, so here's our Twitter account, right? So let's go to it. Now, I personally did not tweet anything you're about to see. These are all things that were tweeted on behalf of who we've been following. So, and they're all really good, right? So IRS whistleblower spills the beans, DOJ slow walk tax probe involving Hunter Biden, powerful people play slow and sneaky games, time for change, transparency, please. And it quotes the article and gives a couple of hashtags, right? So we got a comment already on it, a like on it. So sick of the stupidity, folks. Let's unite and rise above with truth and common sense. Big change coming, believe me. Males in disguise, wish people weren't this stupid. All right, so that seems a little aggressive, but the accounts that we're tweeting from are the ones that have the most engagement, and from both sides of the aisle. So this, I'm assuming, probably has something to do with drag, or I don't know. And again, this is only day one, so we will take a look at these tweets and say, okay, that's a little bit too aggressive for Rhino, or that's this, or that's that. And of course, we have to find it first, and then do it, adjust. Folks, we're making America not just great, but healthy too. Let's embrace our diverse roots, support local businesses, and unite for a common goal. A thriving future for all. Inclusivity, progress, healthy matters, unity. Insert George Carlin smirk, right? And then we have an economic one we've been following. Look, here's some charts. I think this came from CNBC. Talk about Biden. It's so disheartening to see companies prioritizing profit over the well-being of children. So the cool part about what you're reading, and look, so again, we didn't tweet any of this. I did not have my hands on any of this. This is all automatic, which is cool. Not yet a human. That's disgusting. Yeah, so anyway. So none of that is me. That's all the automations. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at which ones we are happy with, which ones we feel are a little aggressive, because then we'll disconnect those, and then just rinse and repeat and continue and continue and continue and build it larger and larger. I think we might go ahead and recode what hashtags are used, because right now it looks like it's using hashtags that's making up. So for instance, if I said, hey, I love bologna sandwiches, hashtag I love bologna sandwiches. That sounds like it makes sense. It's genuine to my tweet, but who goes on hashtag I love bologna sandwiches? Probably no one. In fact, we just made it up, right? So we should use hashtags that people are actually going on. So maybe hashtag stock market, hashtag politics, hashtag Biden, right? Like something that has a lot of movement. So that will be an upgrade that we'll be looking to do over the weekend when we when we upgrade the whole Zapier thing. But the point being to go ahead and create tweets like that that are not being written from us and are taking the most engaged tweets, rewording them and putting them out there at the regularity of those individuals is a good thing. Furthermore, again, we could further adjust them. So, okay, these are good. Now let's go ahead and code them to each say something about Rhino or something curious about Rhino. Or how about everything is just hashtagged Rhino, right? That's actually a good idea. And we create our own hashtag when we put all this out. People like hashtag Rhino. Who is that? So again, these are just ideas. Maybe a possible idea is it maybe tweets at the person, says, hey, follow us, we have the same point of view. I don't know, right? But I can tell you if we have 50,000 zaps in a month, we're going to play with that. We're going to have a lot of things happening. But also, since we're working on this webinar campaign, which I'm going to update you on, maybe each tweet just has a link to the webinar. Hey, if you believe this, we're going to address this. Come join our webinar, right? Who knows? Maybe that's a way that we go ahead and get a whole bunch of new email addresses. I don't know, but when you have such automation and such expertise in these areas, the sky's the limit, right? Blessed in you. Okay, cool. In terms of the webinar, we are now up to 48 registered. So we were at 31 yesterday, we're at 48 today. That's an additional 17. Of those 17, I think about maybe a quarter to a half are existing rhinos, but that means another 8, 9, 10 are new people that we've never met yet. And like I said, we are adding thousands of new emails a day, which is why the emails that you receive, when you read it, it's like, hey, if you're, if you didn't already know, which you do know, because I emailed you and told you, that we're sending these emails out to a much, to an audience that doesn't know us. So they're much more introductory. If you didn't know that, you'd be like, Ant, are you off your rocker? Like, I know who you are. You don't need to reintroduce yourself. So we're going to continue doing that. And I think starting Tuesday, I want to reorganize the email to be, as a member of Rhino, you want to know this. As a person we're inviting to be a part of Rhino, you want to know this, right? So if we can make the email twofold, and some people would say, well, Ant, why don't you just organize the emails? Like for people that are part of Rhino, they get this one, and for people that are not part of Rhino, they get this one. I've always thought that's a good idea. I'm just morally opposed to it. I don't know. Like, this is something that I don't think makes sense to people because they're like, Ant, you have to segment your email list. I don't like the idea that one person gets something different than someone. I just don't. Like, just fundamentally down to the core, I don't like it. So I'm just probably never going to do that. But also, the value in what I'm talking about is you now have an individual that is able to see the other stuff, right? So like if I've never known Rhino and I get an email, and for the members of Rhino, we hit all of our goals today, and this is happening, woohoo, woohoo. For those that are reading this for the very first time, why don't you join Rhino? This is who we are, this is who we are. It's almost like that person's like, do you think I didn't read it? You think I just didn't see that? It's like when you're in court and you're in jury duty, and the attorney, the prosecutor is like, yeah, well, you killed that lady because we saw your text message, and the judge is like, that's inadmissible. You guys pretend you never heard that, and you're like, how do I pretend I just never heard that, right? Okay, I didn't hear that. The point being, when this individual opens the email, they're going to see, and of course we know our audience, we're going to be speaking to them without speaking to them, right? Like, oh my God, Rhino is just blah, 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 blah. And if you're new here, this is, why don't you come on board? So there is going to be a bit of psych involved with it. So I do think on twofold. One, I don't like segmenting emails. But secondly, as a result of that, I think the emails could actually even be more powerful. So starting Tuesday, we're going to, I would say Monday, but it's Memorial Day. I'm thinking I don't know if I'll email Monday. There's certain holidays where it's just like, leave people alone. And not that like we're a bother, but we don't want to interfere in someone's celebration of like Memorial Day. That's like of our country. That's our servicemen. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. or I don't want to interfere with that. So that's that. So we're at 48. I suspect by the end of the week, we'll probably be up to 100 maybe. And again, like anything else, you're going to start small and build, build, build. Like there's going to be more things that we're going to find out. But if you go ahead and put me in a room with 100 people, all interested, and I'm going to create the presentation, I'm going to be working on that today, that's a good thing. I'm sure some presentations may only have 10 people in the room. I don't know. But I can tell you I'm committed to doing it every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 1 p.m. I could tell you that we'll add 10, 20, 30 a week by that. And you know what? There's nothing I'm not willing to do for Rhino. So that's a good thing. I think that's everything. The affiliate is very much on my mind now because again, we're building a more organized approach. Just get them to the webinar and I could do the rest from there, which is a very, I don't want to say easy, but it's a very straightforward offer for an affiliate to do because you're not selling anything. You're like, okay, go check out this webinar. It's not a very large ask to ask of someone. And then once they're in the webinar, we're going to address all the A, B, C, and Ds of everything else. So I think it's a good partnership that Rhino and Rhino partners can have together and be rewarded, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's everything. Tomorrow we'll be doing prompt engineering. I don't know what we'll be doing yet. Maybe I'll probably actually just show the Twitter that we're doing because it's for anyone else that's a part of Twitter, or you could do it for Instagram or YouTube, to be able to build a code that would automatically tweet someone else's tweets in your own words at the same time they tweet it with relevant hashtags. I mean, that the possibilities for that are really endless. Oh, lastly, the Rhino email thing that I wanted to do, well, that I've been thinking about. I've been further thinking about it. I'm going to go through our Salesforce emails today and take a look at all the analytics. How many different countries, how many this, how many that, what's the open rates, blah, blah, blah. And I do think we're going to probably maybe try to pilot something next week, just test it out. Would you want to go ahead and be recommended by Rhino to Rhinos? And if so, fill out this form and, I'll talk to you. Because we're not just going to recommend you because you pay us. Like, that's crazy. We work far too hard for me to be like, oh, you're going to give us $1,000. Go tell everyone, you're great and sell them SHIT. That would never happen. So we got to play with that further. But I also think in a collaborative way between you, me, and the individual, if I'm what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Not sourcing them, filtering them. If I'm not probing, that sounds really bad. Anyway, if I'm really making sure that they are valuable to us, well then you can believe that at least the offer is credible, ethical, moral, and a good one, right? Like I'll negotiate with them. Like, hey, listen, if we're going to do this, I want everyone to get special deals, whatnot. And you know that the income from that is going to Rhino Bucks. Well, then it does put you in a position that's twofold. One, well, take a look at the offer. You know it's going to be good. Now, whether you're interested in it or not, and it's another story, but the offer is going to be good. You'll be getting something that you couldn't get elsewhere. But secondly, the income is going to be dependent on the metrics of the success that we're able to show and then continue forward. So if, for instance, we do this and the offer gets like 10 clicks, how are we ever going to be able to grow that, right? Like, how can we ever say to the next person, hey, well, why don't you do this? We got 10 clicks last time. They're going to be like, 10 clicks. Like, I don't want that. Meaning, if you go ahead and say, okay, this is a good offer, let me go at least take a look at it. But at the same point, well, I know that me looking at this is producing metrics that is helpful to Rhino. I own Rhino. We all own Rhino. It would behoove me to at least do my part and make sure that I participate in growing this program. And again, nothing's ever free. I hate saying the word free, but it does not cost you any money to do that. It costs you your time and whatever your time is worth. I hope Rhino is worthy of some of it, right? So I think collaboratively, we could go ahead and create a really good program. And who knows, maybe we do it on a daily basis. Maybe those emails look like 2 Rhinos, 2 new people, and everyone check these people out. And God forbid we could do that for 7 days a week. Say 250, $300 a day we get paid. Say we get paid 1,000. I have no idea. But that's a big amount that goes into Rhino Bucks, right? And again, that is the centerpiece of everything. So these are good things. Is this Whitney? Oh, they're playing a Whitney song. I watched the new Whitney. Well, not the new movie about Whitney Houston. Obviously, she's not starring in it, but they had someone that looked incredibly like her, and they used all of her old songs. Like they didn't. The person playing her didn't sing. They lip synced Whitney's actual voice because she was a a song artist. She's so good, so good, so good. All right, I'm just rambling now. Let me get to work. Um, as I had an early start to the day because our son woke up at 2 and our daughter decided to wake up at 3. And as a father, it's not like I'm going to go back to sleep. So I've been up and I went jogging this morning. So I did get some stuff done. So I'm able to ramble, but I need to stop. So love, love, love. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye. And happy Memorial Day weekend.